Hello everyone, welcome back to King Paul Myers, and this is a very special episode because this episode is under the hashtag of hashtag Read by Spooktober. Now, Read by Spooktober was created by Read by Beth. You can find her on Instagram, and Horror Han. They created this incredible event in honor of Halloween, in honor of this season, and reading great and creepy stories. So please follow Read by Spooktober. Check out all these reviews. You're getting reviews every single day from Stephen King to everyone else. But of course, King is top because I have a bit of a bias if you don't know already. So please follow them. Please follow this event all month long. It is a celebration of horror, and everything spooky. Now, without further ado, what did I read? So I chose, of course, to be difficult because I like making my life more difficult than it has to be. Instead of choosing one book, I chose a ton of short stories. I chose Stephen King's Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I have been really loving Stephen King's short stories this past year. As you know, I've done reviews on Skeleton Crew and on Night Shift, and those two books just absolutely blew me away. Both of them gave me a new love of short stories. And now, honestly, all I really want to do is read short stories. I know I have so many other stories I need to read, like, The Stand, Under the Dome. Those I'm going to be reading soon. But I'm going through a short story craze. I also just got this little gem right here, if I can get it out. Just After Sunset. I may read this next week. I can't get enough of King's short stories. Now, the issue I'm now facing doing this review is how I can tell you about the stories without giving too much away, because, as you know, they're a short story. There's not much, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't want to give too much spoilers, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out stories that I was absolutely captivated by, give you a little hint about what they're about, but I'm going to really keep this review spoiler free. I want people to go out and pick up Nightmares and Dreamscapes. It is worth your time. Let's get it out of the way. Is it better than Skeleton Crew or Night Shift? No. As a whole, it is not. But there are still some stories in Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I will be reading these stories for the rest of my life. Because though I honestly don't think it's even fair to compare Nightmares and Dreamscapes to Night Shift and to Skeleton Crew, because Skeleton Crew and Night Shift are perfect. I said it. They are perfect. They're the weakest stories in those. They're 9 out of 10s for me. Nightmares and Dreamscapes, there are some duds for me. Some of these stories felt really short, but let's start with the positive first. So, the first story I'm going to talk about that I do recommend is Suffer the Little Children. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. That's how I do my usual ratings. It's always out of 5. And that one's a 4.5 out of 5. Not quite a perfect story, but an absolutely great story. That one is really short too. I don't know how to, just read it. Just read it. Crouch End, I gave a perfect 5 out of 5. If you love H.P. Lovecraft, read Crouch End. It is outstanding. It is, just speechless. Crouch End, 5 out of 5. Lovecraft fans, all for you. The Rainy Season takes place up in Maine. Shocking. Young couple, everyone tells them, not now. Don't do it right now. and they say, screw you, we're going to do it anyway. The Rainy Season, 5 out of 5. Absolutely outstanding. Dolan's Cadillac could have been my favorite in this entire book. A man's ultimate revenge. A man's wife is murdered by a gangster, and he is hell-bent on getting revenge. The lengths he goes to, how he alters his life, his physical appearance, going with him on this journey as he plans the ultimate revenge. It blew me away. 5 out of 5. Cannot recommend it enough. Could be my favorite short story in Nightmares and Dreamscapes. Dolan's Cadillac. Definitely check it out. Going more with my top picks. You Know They Got a Hell of a Band. 5 out of 5. This one is really hard because another one. Young couple get lost in the middle of nowhere, and they come across this little town, and that's all I can say. If I tell you any more, I ruin the story. This blew me away. I did not expect this adventure at all. A very, very creepy story, and not just saying this, but I think Dolan's Cadillac and You Know They Got a Hell of a Band, probably my two favorites. Definitely check it out. And my last perfect score, the 10 O'Clock People. What if one day you start seeing certain people in a different way, and it scares the hell out of you, but you can't say anything because people that you've known or people walking down the street, they're not people, but no one else notices but you. That is all I can say, but that is the 10 O'Clock People and the 10 O'Clock People. Absolutely love that story. Those are my perfect scores. Those are the stories. I'll go through them again. Suffer Little Children, it was close enough. But Suffer the Little Children, Crouch End, Rainy Season, Dolan's Cadillac, You Know They Got a Hell of a Band, and the 10 O'Clock People. All perfect scores. All stories I'm going to reread over and over and over for the rest of my life because they are horror at its finest. I'll give you some duds, in my opinion. If you love these stories, please let me know in the comments. I love hearing a contrarian opinion. If you like these stories, I'm glad you did. But a few of the stories I really could not get, I just couldn't get attached to. The Moving Finger. Stephen King is known for, he'll take a story about a pen and it'll be the scariest, most horrible story there ever was. And sometimes that's true. King takes very simple concepts and he blows them up. The Moving Finger, I think, was him trying to be, cute. I thought the story sucked. I gave it a 1 out of 5. I mean, I had no attachment to the characters. I thought the story was dumb. I wasn't afraid. I thought it was just weak. Just me. If you liked it, all more power to you. What else did I not? My Pretty Pony. I gave it a 0. I'm pretty sure he wrote it for a magazine. It is like I forget the page count, because it became one of those books where if you ever read something that's so boring and bad, you're reading it, but like you're thinking about, your shopping list and what you have to do later. And you're just kind of flipping the pages like, will this please end? That was my Little Pony? My Pretty Pony. My Pretty Pony. It's like an old man rambling. If you have an older relative in your life, go talk to that person and listen to their life. It is 100 times more interesting than this story. I think there was a moral about, being the best you can be or living life to the fullest. It was just dull and boring, and I just wanted this old man to shut up. Like, it's like this grandfather and grandson, like, moral talk, like. And also it's Spooktober. I'm not interested in moral talks about being the best you can be. I want scary stuff. Maybe in a different light, with I'll get a little something out of it, but I really don't ever want to reread that. And what else? Everything else I found to be, I gave like a 3.5 to 4, like still a very good rating, like a very good story. So with the exception of the stories I just mentioned, everything in this book I liked. I do recommend you buy this book. This book should be on your bookshelf. If you love Stephen King, if you want a good short story, pick this up. Let me know what you think, because I feel like you can't go wrong. Do not go into it expecting Skeleton Crew or Night Shift. I don't like when it's immediately compared to the greatest. Don't compare it. It's not on that level. It's still on a very high level. The stories I mentioned, I feel, are on the Skeleton Crew Night Shift level. That's just my opinion. What did you think? Have you read this? Will you read any of these short stories? I absolutely recommend picking this up. Please let me know what you think in the comments. DM, whatever. I'm happy to talk about these stories. And total side note, in my opinion, this is the best Stephen King cover. I've always loved scarecrows. This is my background on my photo on my phone. This is just my favorite cover of Stephen King. So, fun fact for you. I hope you all enjoy your October. I hope you have a very great spooky season. Keep reading those spooky stories. I am surrounded with stories right now that I need to read. I'm currently going through a bit of an Edgar Allan Poe phase, which I love because Poe is one of my heroes. And please stay tuned for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments about Nightmares and Dreamscapes. And please keep following Read by Spooktober. A lot of great reviews coming. Thank you, and have a good night.